on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
And industry to power industry so that Ghana can be competitive to be able to generate the jobs. If a factory is taking a decision between either siting in China or Ghana, one of the major conditions that they are
the interviews and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
In the implementation of Operation Recover All Routes, and then also lay bare the facts surrounding a case that he has dubbed
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
To take center stage and present his briefing. Thank you very much.
In 2005, the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Hot.
Reinitiating your body sequence.
Hot.
Initialize.
Digital.
Re-enter.
Online.
The passkey.com. Accepting Hot Digital Online.
Fellow Ghanaians, or fellow countrymen and women, as I usually say. As the Minister for Government Communications has indicated, I am here this morning to account to the sovereign people of Ghana, as has been my practice since assuming office as Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Today, I will do two things. Firstly, I will provide update on the oral investigations we've been conducting and the oral related prosecutions that have been filed so far. Second, you would recall that on March 20th, 2025, when I announced the Kobna Aduboyin investigation, I referred to an ongoing investigation as the Rumble in the Jungle. The reference was to the buffer stock criminal investigation. I will this morning announce the conclusion of investigations into the elaborate criminal enterprise that started in 2018 after the appointment of Hanan Abdul Wahab as Chief Executive Officer of the Buffer Stock Company. Ladies and gentlemen, as far as the oral investigations are concerned, the status report is as follows. Out of the report of the oral committee submitted to my office, we instructed the National Intelligence Bureau in March 2025 to conduct investigations into cases of suspected acts of theft and graft by public officials and their allies in the private sector. The investigations were necessary because the oral committee reports did not contain the evidence required to prove the guilt of the suspects in court beyond reasonable doubt. It is always important to remember that the oral committee was tasked by His Excellency the President to receive complaints of looting of state resources, and complaints do not constitute irrefutable evidence of criminality. Our investigators have diligently concluded investigations in the following cases: the SkyTrain, National Service Ghost Name Scandal, District Road Improvement Project or DRIP, National Lotteries, Palgo Multipurpose Dam, SML, Frontier Healthcare Services, Free Wi-Fi, National Ambulance, Boankra Integrated Inland Logistics Terminal, Sputnik V vaccines case, and the land looting cases. In the case of the land looting cases, 8 have been completed and then 1 is outstanding. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a sense of what pertains. When the dockets are brought to my office, and the latest set of dockets were brought 2 weeks ago, I go through them diligently with the prosecution staff, the attorneys in the prosecution division, and other lawyers we work with, and then we can build a case and advise the investigators as to what to do when we find loopholes that may be exploited by defense attorneys. So I want to give 2 examples. In the case of the Boankra Integrated Inland Logistics Terminal, the report has been returned to my office. We have done our reading of the report and analysis of it, and we've come to the conclusion that there is a need for us to have a value for money audit, because that is the only way by which will determine the extent to which there was malfeasance relating to the finances of the project. But so far, nothing has been discovered that should, cause us to take action in court in terms of criminality. I'll give another example. The District Road Improvement Project, which is DRIP. We did the investigation. The preliminary report was returned to my office. I studied it. I gave directions as to what to do. And the investigators have gone back to do went back to do their work. And they came back with a report that I can tell you has, pinpointed certain acts of malfeasance that we are working on. So, for instance, in the case of DRIP, they were overpaid. That is, JA Plant Pool was overpaid by $2 million.
Interviews and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
On the face of the contract, that is the sum that was stated. When we examined the invoices of payments, it was $178 million that was paid. So right away, there was a difference of $2 million. So we asked that $2 million be paid back by JA Plant Pool. We also realized that 190 pieces of equipment were added and cleared without payment of tax. In other words, they were added to the list as if they were tax exempt. I asked the investigators to go back, look at the HS code, and for those of you, HS code is a harmonized code that the customs officers use to determine the classification and taxes applicable to goods. When they did the analysis following the HS code, it came out that 38.7 million Ghana cedis of taxes were evaded. So in respect of the two sums, that is the $2 million, JH Plant Pool has been asked, we have made a demand on them to pay that money. Then when it comes to the taxes, we have asked GRA, because under a demand for the payment of the taxes. So we've asked that GRA should make a demand for the 38.7 million. Now that is our investigators' assessment. GRA may come out with a different figure because they are the tax experts. So our investigators' figure may be confirmed or even adjusted upwards depending on what the GRA says. Now when it comes to the issue of
repository and one pay about
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Any baby I will be drew, Ghana for no it teach you and more friend what say a bit to me as serving as a source of motivation at the Amawomo. A gas and an akura do Ajima Rollins cancel or why.
Oh, Nana Kurodu Ajuma Run.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
And they say, well, you will be okay at this Yamunoko, Achimota, NAK, USP. Now, what funnel, the flip side is say, I'll grow more. If I can say, or not the first lady in Ghana. Or no, the called the same school. Rollins called Achimota School, and the Yosu Achimota School. The second person also, yes, I record
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Did I say, record, we are repeating. No more, no, yes, that is Agro side. Now, true history, yes, serious. History, no. I am so being to me and breaking no NSS because it's a Nukulu, the longest serving head of state in Ghana, almost 20 years. Nukulu Diakonya about 19 years from 31st December 1981 up to the year 2001, 7 January or handy over. It is a Nukulu, the longest head of state of Ghana there. Now, so who say title Nusukuta in the year. The longest
The news, the interviews, and what have you. All packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station. Hot Digital Online.
You have to be public-spirited. It means you should be prepared to serve without expecting anything in return. You should be able to sacrifice at cost to yourself. And some of us have done so many years ago when it was life-threatening to be identified with this political tradition. And then also being selfless, having empathy. That for me is important. Those are the traits that I want to see in the new politician. I think it's time for us now to recalibrate the way we see politics, and that it is not a piece of cake to be shared by politicians and their cronies and their party. And that when you are elected as president, you are president of everybody.
Okay.
And of course, we all know that when you have your party in power, yeah, there are a few things, goodies that you get along the way. That is acceptable and understandable. But if you look at where we are as a country, I mean, I think the country stands in urgent need of healing from this strident polarization and divisiveness. You know? And that is not helpful, because one of my 6-point plan is to restore meritocracy and professionalism back to the public services. And I think presidents after presidents have sometimes tinkered far too much with our public services and over-politicized it. And I'm a bit more disappointed in the current president, the way he dealt with the army, which I felt was touching a very vital state institution. And was it President Obama who came in and said we need to build strong institutions, not individuals? And so I feel very uncomfortable when I see presidents tinker with state institutions. Not only that, moved on to the judiciary, which is one of the 3 legs of our democracy. And I think that the idea that one leg of democracy can take over the other is something that all of us have to repudiate and find a way to protect. Because whilst every 4 years, the president has to go to the people for a mandate, the same with the legislature, we have the judiciary as our bastion. This is our last refuge when we are all in trouble, that we can run to and expect some proper adjudication. And so when we taint it politically, you know, that is damaging the very essence of our democracy. So
we'll come to some of those.
Yeah.
I think some people have felt that one of the problems we have is that there's too much politics all year round, and they feel like the MPP has started too early. I've discussed some of these things with you in the past, where you sort of agree that we shouldn't politicize everything. So how come you proposed an early flag bearer election for MPP and you supported all the ideas towards January in fact, I think you even said December 2025. That was your original proposal, right?
I think people misunderstood my proposal.
Okay.
And it's captured in writing. I don't know whether, I think I sent you a copy.
I'm sure I have it.
Yes, and I spoke at the National Council because we are in exceptional circumstances. We have a situation where our party is normally led by the chairman. And you've had the likes of BJ Darocha, Odoi Sykes, Pitala, Ajete. These were very strong characters. Unfortunately, we don't have a situation now, you know, especially when even the current chairman is not able to perform his duties, unfortunately. And so, therefore, there's a big vacuum. So I was of the view, look,
the news,
let's
the
open up
interviews,
the
and what have you.
cut out the monetization of electoral
on your favorite
and
radio
also to
station.
give
Hot
power
Digital Online.
to those who've really sacrificed for this political tradition. All past officers of our party, from the polling stations, it used to be the wards, the electoral areas, to the constituencies, right through to the national. These are patriots of our party who have given their time, their energy, their sweat, equity to bring this party where we are today. And if we can open up and give them that voting right, that sense of belonging will be assured. That sense of participation will be assured. And the feeling that they have been ostracized. And one of the most painful things in this political tradition, as I've been going around,
the interviews,
is the fact
and
that
what have
people
you. All
give
packed
their,
and ready
their
to
all.
go on your favorite radio station. Hot Digital Online.
90s, you know, in the return to democracy. And today, I mean, you have people who've been regional chairmen multiple times, members of parliament, cabinet ministers who don't have a voting right. And I felt that was wrong. And so I said, look, let's open up. And if they had heeded my call, we would have about 1.5, maybe 2 million in the Electoral College. And I think that is more representative of the party, you know. And I said that if that was achieved, then perhaps we should consider having the flag bearership contest first.
Okay, so it was conditional.
It was conditional. I mean, the letter is there.
Exactly.
But of course, I think it fell into some people's own plan. And so before I finished even delivering my statement in council, I mean, I heard it was all over the news. Governor Japan says early primaries, top down. I never used the word top down.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Never. I mean, it's there. And
so you gave a condition that
yes,
if the Electoral College is expanded.
If you look at the results,
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Our sympathizers did not turn up. The only good thing was that they didn't vote for the other side. Okay? And I have a certain phone, an old phone from my time as press secretary. Everybody knows that number. It's a telecell number. And that particular phone, sometimes they want to know what is going on.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Nana Conadu Ajaman Rawlings, your flame, your voice, your mother of women. She rose in
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
The road was hard, the fights many, but she stood unshaken. Today we weep, but we also celebrate a life that taught us dignity. From Cape Coast, she journeyed with vision, with courage in her eyes. She wore the mantle of First Lady, not just in name but in deeds. She said it takes a woman to lift a people, but that was not just speech, but footsteps in villages and preschools built on her belief. She gathered women under one umbrella, taught them to dream, to save, to speak, to build homes and foundations from
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
In the hearts of girls, she planted hope through pain and sorrow. Now to rest in power, your spirit still reigns. You gave your life for women, for children. We carry your flame. Ghana weeps, Ghana prays, but your legacy remains in every school, every voice. Your name forever sustains.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
You dance through political rain, through coups, through democracy, in sunshine and in pain. You spoke, you ran, you stood, first woman to contest unbowed. In your dignity you challenged men and made your mother proud.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Your bloodline, your fight for equality. As Ghana we pledge, your work shall not be buried with you. We rise, we build, we carry on. Your dreams shall break through. Na na na, to rest in power. Your spirit still reigns. You gave your life for women, for children. We carry your flame. Ghana weeps, Ghana hopes, but your legacy remains in every heart, every child. Your name forever sustains.
The news, the interviews, and what have you,
Kindly check with your time. It is exactly 55 minutes after 12. 55 minutes after 11. Yeah, that reminds me, there has been a change of time. UK ha, wouldn't say a breno equatri, time equatri. The studio is not updated yet. Anyway, that is bringing the confusion. Maybe me remind you, the time has gone back. Time equatri. Intibun Shadenson. So Yanagana be CCA. It's 11:55 here in the UK and it's 11:55 in Ghana. And maybe I'm not refi. Let me remind you, and that's the tradition. Of course, our UK. So it's 11:55. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to hotdigitalonline.com. A beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is shining, isn't it? But it's still cold.
But she stood
it's a bit warmer, actually.
Today we weep.
I want to welcome you to Hot Digital Online, and I want to welcome you to Head Back. Sincere apologies for the absence. But Adjumano Dawson. And sometimes you really wish it's good serving Ghana. It's good. To serve the Ghanaian people. But there's no food also.
With courage.
And you forgive me, but that's what it is. But in as much as we have any time available to be your server or your servant, we will be here. Good morning. It's time to talk about politics. Time to talk about issues concerning our dear country, Ghana.
Gathered women under one umbrella, taught them.
And you can listen to the sound of the background.
Homes and
we start on a solemn,
seeds of tomorrow.
This week we actually had the demise of Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. What can you say about this woman? Tributes are pouring all over the world. She's been through the coup d'etats. She's been through the democracies. She empowered women
in every school
and children.
Your name forever.
I remember the 31st December Women's Movement. I was a kid or a baby. Or a child. I should put it that way. How long it is that this woman has survived through political accusations.
In sunshine and in pain, you spoke.
And with her husband,
you stood first,
the late Jerry John Rawlings.
In your dignity, challenge men and made your mother proud.
As I said, tributes are pouring over the world. And this morning, we also show our sincere condolence to the family
for equality.
As Senator Rawlings and the other Rawlingses.
Be buried with you. We rise.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. But this morning we are talking about her.
Rest in power.
They fought for corruption.
You gave your life for women.
But today,
we carry your.
What do we say about corruption in our dear country, Ghana? Now, the Attorney General versus the OSP. All of these are going on. I remember when the NDC were in power, when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo also on the other side trying to win power. In 2016? 2012, the issue was about corruption. But today, Nana Addo Dankwa campaigned against the NDC on the word or the issue of corruption. Now, President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC is also in power now. They also talked about corruption during the campaign. So can you give me one of the very campaign message for the NPP now when they want to come out in 2021? Can you tell me one of the main campaign message they can actually campaign on? It is also corruption. So when and how can we deal with the issue of corruption in our country, Ghana?
Warrior of the people.
It's an issue. And I was trying to, even as myself and my producers were trying to have some topics for the show, the issues that we can discuss this morning. It was about what? Corruption. Yeah? So these are some of the issues. Attorney General and one more come. Nina Akoyen SMP. Your flame, your voice, your mother. And I just want to get through to some of the headline stories this week. A course, and then see if we can deal with them. The road was hard, the fights many, but she stood on. And I remember when Kenneth Japan was, during the issue or the cases in Anas and all that, he made his video or his comments on the who watches the watchman, now who fights for Ghana, as far as corruption is concerned. She journeyed with vision, with courage in her eyes. She wore the mantle of First Lady, not just in name but in deeds. She said it takes a woman to lift a people, but that was not just speech. So this week, some of the headlines. Villages and preschools built on her. Government declares 3 days of mourning, or national mourning for Nana Akufo-Addo Agyeman Rawlings. To dream, to save, to speak, to build homes. Government revokes 278 small-scale mining licenses over regulatory breaches. Seeds of tomorrow. President meets Chief Justice, Attorney General, Auditor General on enforcement of audit report. We will talk about the rift between Attorney General and the OSP, Office of the Special Prosecutor, over extradition of Ken Oforiatta. That's a major story in contention that we're going to look at here today on the show here on hotdigitalonline.com. We will get into the MPP as well. And then we will be going to Ghana as well. My able producer, my able reporter, Okojiabo Ukran, through democracy in sunshine. Of Oripa FM will be joining me live here on radio. And then we look at the latest updates of some of the stories that we're going to discuss today. My name, as usual, is Principal. Call me Kwame J. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be with you between now. Is it 2 o'clock, isn't it? Yes, now and 2 o'clock. Time in our studio, no, I say I confuse me. But somebody can and that's time. That's a sign track with you. Ghana time now. Paint you say sound time. Just be mindful. And now what do I sorry them? And answer why you late. We drink them. I think so. We drink them. Spirit still reign. Yeah. Why you late, Debbie? And you know, we now do a sorry them. It's all right. It's good. I have a bomb. She cleaning kunya, so it's good. Anyway, and to be the principal with my friend Kwame J. In every heart. Head back. Jumadi any day, bro. Free sabri come say, no me no ebebo. And sembe P and sembe breo na and sembe kan yama. Our deepest condolence to the family. Former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo Agyeman Rawlings. Yama abusiani nyina hyene yemomo yako. But first of all, so mensa na masibio enra dwumadie no a ye hyase ye Ghana Health hot digital online for your health checks. Yeah, pomudi dwumadie de ba or Stratford enra no. I want to thank everyone. It was a success. Na sene meti no na say and for a friend radio is P Bebri, I ain't me mooding. Omutie, woman friend radio, so they were all present. Thank you. Nyami Shramwati. My idea. Say the air, say, ye bomodin, ye serve mono. It drew say here, Moswa. My bomodin, no what's more to me, Abba, Nina, you made bia, Nessa Kosokama. We really want to appreciate almost me, Eba, Yena, Yadamuna, Asset. Yadamuna Asset, and in him said, also, the now Jumadi on Sakai, a foot on Sakai, or Pumdin Sem on Sakai.
Listen, Ghana.
My greetings to DJ Alodia.
Let's walk to the stars.
Bro, shedding anopay.
Nana kona do it.
Anna, Yananti, Enra, Jumedian Yuri, na, or Namquam Kofi and your friend, Alodia, catching and brother, Ketwa. Ephraim.
Dreams in
So DJ Alodia has lost a brother.
built schools.
The family have lost someone.
The road was
We've lost the brother. Yina Sabrinti, oh DJ Alodia number, friend.
today,
The Shenny
but we also
the
celebrate
brother, Ephraim, Enray.
us dignity.
Bro, Yamin short in what is when you're busy na sanity. Do baby, you wish. Bayana wishes, no.
From
I want me and moving and you won't be here. So, DJ Alodia, yeah, can I say Yamin shouting, Yamin shout.
First Lady
Na Yamin no busia phone and shouting in these difficult times.
said it takes
The cinema can or a DJ Alodia, the number. Oh yeah, entertainment should joy. So he's very popular here in the UK actually.
on her, but
With me a friend.
she gathered women
Na wash anything. Ewo enkwa enina eso.
to say
Thank you. Good morning once again. Hit back and a brass on say the proud. And Chebeko Ghana na yakwakutie. Latest updates of some of the issues are akoso.
seeds of tomorrow.
But mame emphasize some of the sound bites so emrel and someone akoso no ewo my Ghana mu no. Yentietie bi. Na to remind you, say oh be follow I know as 1 o'clock. Na also odewo wadwentre ba at least you'll be abreast with the information na also wahunu ne eko na wahu ba bia de argument the befa.
In every school, every voice, your name forever sustained.
Don't forget we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook, we are live on TikTok. www.hotdigitalonline.com.
You dance through
And also your app no I'll be to me I call phone so Play Store and our App Store now what download it and also upload it
you spoke
now will be to me at your live baby onam baby will be on your phone.
unbound.
Yeah, the Hot Digital app
Men
in teacher and so.
made your mother proud.
Okay.
Zatoya,
Sam Jonah the Nsembi Ababetuja.
we see they carry your hope.
There was a question that was posed to him. Munim Sam Jonah, Ghana Goldfields. Ghana.
And your work shall
Ba gold honsem. This man Ashanti gold. And only my name no.
carry on.
All the transitions.
Your dreams shall break through.
It says that politically in Ghana, a refreshing wind of change is blowing. That's according to Sam Jonah.
Your life for women, for children.
All right, so Yenti and Komon Kakra na Yentuaso. This week, major headlines, sound bites, and bro. Don't forget that this show is being brought to you by Jamestown Foods. Jamestown Foods, and Equasia with me a call. Equasia that almost special teasers. With me a call, what in what did he? Dear Hoopa, come on, more late in Lebridge Road. Or Madame, my boy, made it, bro. Your phone calls near there, yeah, free Ghana. Your reporter, if you're Benino, or more, and I saw home. Afaho Eka Intition Security hotdigitalonline.com.
It's about how you bring people up, even beyond their wildest dreams.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Tell us, can one turn people around to follow his vision?
Absolutely. First of all, you have to be able to articulate it. But in the articulation of your vision, you have to appreciate that it takes all. It takes leadership. Wisdom does not reside in the heart person, in the one person, one person. I mean, everybody counts.
That's right.
Everybody has an innate ability to contribute.
That's right. So they have a role to play.
So your vision, yes, it's a dream. You sell it to your audience, which in our case, the government.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
You must show them respect. You must show that their views matter. and you give them the skills to be able to be empowered so that they can make their contribution to that exercise.
From where you sit and espousing all of these values, we can talk about integrity, candor, skill. It goes on and on. Loyalty. Do we have that in our political leadership? Because with all these being mentioned, Ghana should be somewhere miles away then. Do we lack that?
Oh, I'm not sure that we lack that as a people, because Ghana is incredibly well endowed with talent. I mean, my God, I can give you a long list of Ghanaians, both here and abroad, who are doing exceptionally well. I mean, for instance, almost the number 3 man, Bank of America is Ghanaian, Mensa. Okay, the treasurer of Bank of England. I'm glad to say it's my mentee. Wonderful. Recently, the chief financial officer of Cambridge University is Ghanaian. I mean, I can give you literally thousands of people. And
I guess we can start with you, the personality Nana Ajimani.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
It depends on what you mean. In the sense that I miss it because of the trappings, no, I don't, because there was no trappings. But in the sense that you can actually get support from external organizations to come and help the women of Ghana and the children of Ghana, yes, in some ways I do. Okay. But I think that generally I'm getting on with what I have to do, and that's it. Okay.
Now, in the years you've been on earth, before politics, did you always think that you'd be a politician today, looking back on your life?
My life has been political. Very much so, because from the time of growing up, we had political people in the household. My father had people from both disciplines. We had members of the CPP group who were members of his family, brothers and sisters, and we had members of the UP group who were members of his family, brothers and sisters and uncles and so on. So the household was a very political household. So there's no way that I could have escaped it.
So you're saying that even before you always had it in mind to be a politician?
Not that I had it in mind to be a politician. I was brought up in a political home. So politics was part of our everyday life. They quarrel, they argue, but when it comes to sitting down to eat, they are still discussing what is best for the country. So, yes.
Okay. Now, before NDP, you were a politician of another breed. And by that I mean being such a strong pillar in the NDC. Now, if you look back in your time with the NDC, do you have any regrets?
I don't think so.
At all?
No, I don't think so. I don't have regrets in... I can look at it from two angles. If I'm talking about regrets based on maybe some remunerations,
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
That you have a road that you are on, you're leading in a way to prosperity for the people of Ghana. You're leading, you are on a train, let's say, and you are moving from place to place, level to level, making sure that wherever you pass, you leave something good behind. And suddenly I see that it's turned the other way around, it's going backwards, and so it's destroying the things that have been built. In that respect, yes, there is some regret, okay, but otherwise, no.
We will discuss the NDC as it is and as it was before.
I don't know if I want to be here to talk about NDC.
Okay,
I want to talk about NDC
and your political journey in its totality. But your decision to be a member of the NDC before, was it a personal decision or it was one born out of your close ties with Mr. Rawlings?
I didn't join the NDC. I helped build the NDC. So there are two different things. Okay. I didn't join. So because some of us were not CPP or UP or anything. And the rest of them were like, well, those of us who belong to some other group, we're going back to our grouping. But for those of you who have nowhere to go, well, that's your problem. So then we sat back and said, okay, in that case, let's build something that is revolutionary. So that's what we did.
Why revolutionary?
Well, revolutionary so that we can actually change from just politicking to working towards making people better in Ghana. And that's different from just politicking, you know.
Okay. So at the time, there was a vision for the party, the NDC. You were part of the building of this party. What were these key tenets or the key pillars?
I didn't come here to really come and talk about NDC and build them up. I want to talk about the NDP.
We will in just a minute. I just want to understand how your political journey is.
Understand it. That's they were going on a certain road and they've really turned left and backwards. Okay. So I don't want to go into that because I want to look forward into NDP and
we will. You see, people want to appreciate where you've come from to where you are. Well, there are some who may be watching you for the very first time and may not know. We may take it for granted, but some may not know.
I hate publicity for another party. I honestly do.
I understand.
But we built the party based on the ideologies of my husband, looking at the way he believed in the country Ghana, that we could all be a part of, decision making, and take ourselves from the quagmire of poverty into prosperity, and then reduce and unnecessary bickering in the country, develop every part of the country so that
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
And so there were basic things that we took from the PNDC and then tried to push it into that party at that time.
That party at that time?
That party at that time.
Okay. So what? Today's NDC is a pale shadow of what you created before?
I'm not sure whether it's even a pale shadow. It's a contradiction.
A contradiction?
Total contradiction.
Explain. I don't understand.
A contradiction is when you have something that you want to go here, you put it here, and you're moving in that direction. When you want to contradict it, and move in the opposite direction.
Is it the people or the beliefs?
I think that you have to start with the people, because it's the people who activate and actualize suggestions and objectives. So if the people there are not believers in the objectives, then it definitely is not going to happen.
So by people, you mean the executives?
I don't have to go into the nitty-gritty.
Why not?
Because I want to talk about the NDP.
And you will, madam.
You're taking too much of my time. It's 1 hour.
No problem. We will.
One day invite me and say the topic is NDC.
And we'll have that conversation.
Then we'll have that conversation. But for the moment...
Indulge me for 5 minutes more. Still on this one. Then I'll give you enough time for the NDP. We'll delve with it in its totality from its formation to the end.
I know you won't, but I'll take it anyway. You're just like my son.
No. I will, I promise. But with the NDC, I just want to understand something. What will ever make you consider rejoining?
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Francis, whenever I go on a show, I tell my interviewer that I really don't like to use hypothetical situations.
Okay, no hypothesis.
No hypothesis. To give you a hypothetical answer. I don't want to do if.
Okay. Will you ever rejoin?
That is if. It's an if. Will you? That's a hypothetical question. And I'm not going to answer hypothetical questions, no.
Okay. All right.
So remembering Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rollins, Honsem, and Yasugusua Yetie. Now we will get back to that. I mean, we need to show respect where it's due, I believe. Now, Yebeka Akohobio, but the one major headline this week, Yebeka Honsem, you heard her talking about corruption and why the NDC, I mean the PNDs, from the PNDC and the birth of the NDC. And but as we look at country Ghana, so did they actually wherever John Rawlins, former president, and his wife did, is it in vain actually? It's a big question that we can look at, because now we can see, and I just want to get through some of the issues about corruption and and then I'll play an interview where I call a news file about the former Attorney General. Some kakra across the domino vote fight, sabotage, corruption fight, sabotage by procured judges and judicial delays, domino vote. And we understand the president has met the Attorney General, the OSP, and yeah, the Senebaya. Some of the issues about corruption and answer the air question can be dealt with as quick as possible. We understand the oral, the OSP are now chasing billions of dollars of loot. But let me quickly go through and somewhere opening a truja. Now we will be coming to that here on hotdigitalonline.com. I'll play this interview. Send them the kind so. Na yetimi edi hon and komo tikosodeti hotdigitalonline.com. Na yemfa eno emro. But let's listen to this interview, of course. And then I'll come back and read and someone and also so penny at the Twitter. Costinity hotdigitalonline.com.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Okay, I'll come back to that. I think we're having some technical hitches in the studio. So I'll come back to that story. Na yashe na yatwaso. This is hit back 22 minutes after 12 and check. Meko Ghana. Na mene akojiabo okran so atwetwe nkomo. Na ya heard the latest updates of some of the stories are yedi hu nkomo ene ewie ya na no pay no. Na se yede abro nti Costinity hotdigitalonline.com. Now, yeah, that was okay. All right, so I think we're having some little bit hitches kakra, but we will see. Yeah, how a bit to me.
One afternoon, I received a message that they said Nana said I should come to her office. I said, oh my God, what has happened to me? What have I done? So I went to the lady's office, for once panicking actually, because we were told that there were two people we should fear apart from Rollins, Kwajo Chikata and Nana Kunedu Rollins. So I was like, what is she going to do to me? What have I done? I only arrived and she said, look, I've heard that you are in charge of the payroll, you have IT systems. Can you help me to automate some things and processes in my office? I said, this is good news. So I recommended some people to help her to do that. My heartfelt condolences to the family, and may her soul rest in perfect peace.
What do you make of Oral's renewed move, as people are saying? And some have said you had cause to criticize the slow pace at which things were running, and so you should be one of those who must be extremely excited at what is going on. Now, I've been trying to do just a quick, putting together all the figures from this week alone, the cases that have been to court or have been spoken about. Giftiowari's case, that's the NSS matter, together with her former boss, Osesibe entry. We are now told that it's moved from the previous 500 and something or 600 and something to 2.2 billion Ghana cedis of monies stolen or misused through ghost names. the Auditor General had done an audit, special one, which earlier revealed that OCSB entry alone, was being paid as a national service person and every month he was receiving a certain amount, and cumulatively for 16 months, he received in excess of 8 million Ghana cedis. That's 8.2 million. The buffer stock, Hanan Abdul Wahab, 78 million. The MPA Mustafa Abdul Hamid case, you have over 291 in Ghana cedis, million in Ghana cedis, and then you have USD component of 4 million plus, 4.6 million. I try putting together and I find you have in excess of 2.5 billion that literally has been stolen if the stories are upheld in a courtroom.
Well, thank you very much, Samson. Let me say that even in my earlier discussions, I've always acknowledged the progress of work done or being done by Attorney General's Department and the allied institutions, that is the National Investigation, OSP, YOCO. I broaden it beyond oral. I'm talking about against corruption, not just oral. I have acknowledged that, and the status update given us by the Attorney General is quite commendable. My worry still remains the same, however. My worry is not about the speed of going into the courtroom. My worry is about when we arrive at the courtroom, what next? Because from my point of view, there are things which must change, or the legal framework must change to facilitate the early completion of these cases. One of them is the enactment of a law to limit the time frame within which these economic and organized crimes or looting or corruption cases can be tried. In fact, I take courage from the Supreme Court of Nigeria based upon Section 306 of their Administration of Criminal Justice Act and Section 40 of their Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act prevented, in-hearing appeals, that is stay of proceedings. They allow you to appeal during the proceedings or during the hearing, but there is no stay of proceedings. So once a criminal trial has started, it continues to the end. And I think if we bring such
the news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Proving beyond reasonable doubt that someone stole money, especially in the form of economic crime, in terms of corruption, etc., is extremely difficult because these acts are not done openly. These acts are not done by people who are as daft as me. It is done by very intellectual people who have a lot of control and power and can also influence systems, people, including even the investigators and prosecutors. So the principle of reversed burden, as implied or stated under Article 286, which says that from your previous declaration of assets and liabilities, if your subsequent declaration shows an increase in wealth, which does not match your sources of income, gift, or etc., then you have acquired these assets contrary to the Constitution. I think we should expand on that law and apply it to unexplained wealth, apply it to all corruption and corruption-related cases. Otherwise, it is going to be difficult. Two things are going to be happening. One, how to prove beyond reasonable doubt in the courtroom that even though we have 20 million in my Daniel Domilevo's account, over the years, when we put up the amount of money he earned, it will not even reach 1 million. So he is a thief. How to prove it will be difficult. And again, how long it will take before we come to the closure on that case is going to disturb us. And we know the practice is that the lawyers, forgive me, you people are lawyers, I'm not one, but one of your good practices is to delay cases till there's a change in government. Then you see nolli prosequi, or we are no more interested in the case. So these are my problem. Why I said the last time that I can't see the tunnel before
and from where you sit, you say, you call this the low-hanging fruits as far as this kind of reform is concerned.
Exactly, because I think with the majority in parliament, it should be easy to pass these laws, including internal auditing, because we want to also, as we recover the loot, we want to prevent additional loots. So internal auditors must be made independent so that they can be a check. They are on the ground, they are professionals.
Talking about internal auditors, and there are various layers of individuals and institutions involved in how these monies get, dissipated, or stolen or misused. And yet, at each level, nobody gets to flag the infraction. The Attorney General gave us an example that if you take the DRIP, the district improvement, whatever it is, equipment, he speaks about
the news and what have you.
Project, the equipment that was brought to the government, overpayment by as much as $2 million US. How is this a mistake? How is this an oversight? He speaks about, because they were supposed to be paid $176 million US. Instead of that, they got paid $178 million US. So he's ordered that they refund the $2 million in excess. There were as many as 190 pieces of equipment that was added and cleared duty-free, as in tax exempt. It appears these would have gone to a certain individual or certain individuals, or they would have gone to the company, the JA plant pool. And this, we have lost tax income of over 38.7 million in tax evasion. And that's not all. He speaks about over invoicing of between 100 and 300%. They paid, in some instances, an equipment that cost $40,000 US. The country paid $48,000 US for that equipment, more than twice. How did all of these things happen when there are checks every step of the way?
Yes, checks are there in the public financial management system. And I keep insisting that no matter how robust the internal controls, that the checks and balances are in the financial system, one, when there are no consequences for misbehavior, these controls will always be undermined because people will always collude and seek rent from the system. So they will try and come together. And at times to some people, not that they are part of the what do you call it, the plan or the plan to loot. They may not be part of it, but they fear for themselves, especially internal auditors. If they see this anomaly and they report it, most of the times what happens is that you lose your job. The minimum is to be transferred, or you remain on your grade or whatever. So for fear that the repercussion, and remember I always say, once you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. For fear that they may be attacked, they don't say anything. I am not saying that all the others who pass, including the accountants, the officers who validate or certify stores, people who claim that they have received, etc., they are not. In financial management, we always have internal audit providing assurance that all these controls properly and have been complied with. But when the internal auditor himself also becomes afraid and fear for his life or her life and cannot independently, this is what happens. That's why I'm calling that they should amend the Internal Audit Act, send them outside the control and direction of the spending officers, so and with which they know that you can't transfer me, you can't sack me, you can't do anything. It is just a professional work that I am doing as an internal auditor. So I cannot agree more with you that the system at times is sickening if you hear what is going on. But because we have allowed people to get away with it over the years, people feel motivated to do it, always.
Is it not curious to you, because of where you have the privilege of sitting previously and now, that at the National Service Secretariat situation, Giftiowari Mensah is able to use a company she's associated with to allegedly fleece the country this much? Initially, the losses, uncovered through the Fourth Estate's work and the Attorney General's work was estimated at 548 million Ghana cedis. But now, by the subsequent forensic audit, it has escalated the figure to 2.2 billion. Ghost names in their thousands, fake names. And then the bank, ADB Bank, also facilitates the loan process, all of these things. And nobody is checked. Osesbe entries situation, you find the system by which he's alleged to have received the money monthly. All of these are systems that we thought were, because they are virtual, they will help to check, the corruption. And as much as 8.2 million goes to him by the, accumulation. The buffer stock situation, Hanan Abdul Wahab, the laundering of 78 million Ghana cedis through 7 entities linked to himself and his wife and staff. How did that happen? In Mustafa Abdul Hamid's situation, the extortion that he's alleged and the money laundering of proceeds through property and business fronts. How do these things all happen and nobody gets to check?
So it goes on and on about corruption. And no now, the former Attorney General, Auditor General, and he has actually criticized the nation's anti-corruption efforts, alleging that the fight is being deliberately undermined by the judicial, skeptical to political and financial manipulations. Mr. Demlevo did not spare the legal fraternity, claiming that highly resourceful corruption suspects are employing powerful lawyers and procuring judges to ensure indefinite delays until a favorable change of government. So facilitate a favorable change of government facilitates the collapse of their cases. So, speaking on, yesterday, the respected anti-corruption crusader insisted that unless the judicial system undergoes radical changes or radical and urgent reforms, the retrieval of stolen state funds will remain impossible. I'll get back to that story. But Mamenko Amanasu. Namene Okojiabo Ukraine and Chichenko Mokakra. Na Yenshani Ninkomo, some of the stories are or the Eba Bremi and Nedri Dishwik Himu Abronye issue be Apeja Abba. It says NPP flag bearership race. Abronye escapes a near beatings from party members after attacking and insulting Kenny Japan in German South. Archers Abronye Kakakrebi. Nanka omri omsa sudmua. Enye nanka de besi no menkenye abra oko attack eye flag bearership race no hu baako. Eye opani Kenya Japan. Inti ano honsem eno no. Kumasi's lover, killer. Inspector Ahmed Chumesi alias Takum gets life imprisonment after 5 to 2 weeks. Is it 5 to 2 verdict of 5 to 2 verdict of Kumasi High Court. And on some yede ebebrel. Na face so. Yahre they say Yakwakoba, the education minister Haruna Idris so Eden Sembia to draw about. Eden Sembia to draw. Speaking of English language, which is no longer compulsory in Ghana's basic schools. Education minister and this direction we abetuja ama GES to enforce order. Not just say, bro, for the trade, ye mind no ade no. No wholesome, but let me get the details in free Okojabo cry in China. Na fe yen so in free hop. Our reporter, Debia Ode and Sem Ebre, and then so in Sakana. You're ready and drinkable. Okojabo.
Principal.
Boko de Apum.
Nyame Edia Same, na me assure say also no for bench. Be a hoye.
Nyame Adum, you go super. You go so na say no Ebreno na ya na ntam but then Nyame Adum me EP mu hadia. Na yes bidim ko. Yeah. Okay. Ghana Boko, you see at the time na you see about 12:41 me boy.
Yes, exactly 12:30. Okay, honey 39. So I'm trying to say the same thing. So 39:41 the same thing.
Yes, 39. 39.
Oh, okay, sure. You say there. You know, you're born 5 and 6, 5 and 6.
Sadly, anyway. You do baby, I had the other, and say, you do baby, I need refuse time to question. And yet, let me say, no expectation is a public class or intem. Do not. I feel every punk and go for me, I saw them. So, somebody them. We do the master for my preaching. How about say, hey, time into you quiet. So to me, coffee over. And yet, Punk and Johnson also be almost time paid my
na a house move pound conyaso. Say no some food through the hall.
As I saw them the idea be more. And they said you puppet now say to me yet me shame kunya.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, Uncle, yet you am say odin sem you are brave now. What you na bro you see there no.
Principal Mamena say na once again mentia when I mentia etiefo ene ya hwefo a dane da no omama ya kwanya tambia na ya na metaka se enye ye ho na tayen ana enye ye ne a you know ye de say ye brofo ye tiefo no so da bi ombom na say omo brofo wo ye so firi se panisi ye gina odogo ne kon ho ansa na ye hunu krom
right
se tiefo ne ahwefo no amma ye kwan se ye mesom wo mo a yentimi anunti we are ever committed say ebre bia no a call ne beba se ye meye dwuma no ye be ye nti ye da ye tiefo ase principal ma men fa omra Ghana na ensam de meka se ebi e wo Ghana na watwi mu pa na se de wa hya ase bisa abronye asem no ne na ye hya ase de afiri amanyosem emu yenim se ye kasa yi akatu na bro akabesa bosome mienu ene kakra na NPP one more presidential primaries no one makoso akwakoto aba e dia pray say hwan ne bekura frankanom e de ama amanyukuo no enyame yadom a yekọ 2028 elections na yekasa campaign no emu aya den papa from the various camps but akwa to say sesia no camp was say eja demu pa yebeka say anwaya den Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia a camp anafe so no yera Kennedy wo hene a compare ko Japan one also ne camp in fact shots are a free these two camps ko no eba bonte no nya asam ketwa na aya na mpani se obofo ene de ne nam ho apaso yera Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia ne camp ana sesia no nsem bi free hoba ene se yen nyina yenim se bono regional chairman edema NPP Kwame Bafo abronye were a staunch supporter of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Na enra what the campaign no ekopie mu ewo German South. Na emra Kwame Bafwa Bronye ejina platform so a okasa no nanka yenim se ebre wedru a de o candidate ni betumi ayede ama oman no ana esese wo ka boni beka ne se you need to propagate the ideas of your candidate. Nanso no na quite say Kwame Bafwa Bronye ejina platform no so no wanka de Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ba obeye na emom no otro tantrums ase oto ayampia e de mane Kennedy akompreko e Japan na emom no aya na mpane se akutie bia nimni wura asem no a wo ka no wo mo yewura Kennedy e Japan din na emom no wotie sade nsam ni si ba no a obi anim se Kennedy wo hene akompreko Japan ana wone no if we say over the years since yewura Kennedy e Japan we declare intention say ono so pese otu frank adema amanyuko no and nsem ni bia oka ane se we bie enwuma a wafa workers bear 7,000 and over a wo mo eye adwuma enu nti no aya na mpane se de wa free kusie abasa watu aka no wono ane de wo sono de eto no so enu nti no se omeye mampani kura no watimi abie enwuma afa workers 7,000 and over there and yes Ghana woman no to me enwuma no obebie ne more yenim se saade we no one of the works yewura Kennedy Japan wata eka na no na Kwame Bafwa Bronye ekogina platform so no ne nsam a woka ene se candidate bi nam an wokeka se we bie enwuma 7,000 na so 7,000 no wono Kwame Bafwa Bronye no wati ne Ghana montene so nyina including nipa no a okasa no which is yewura Kennedy Japan the constituency Ascent Central executive scratch that said man omunya binyai enu ntino wo yobi a wo your trofo na de ma ye hunu say woni Kennedy Japan ana ekasa no eye nsem bi okan ye say nipa no a okasa no nso emra nanado teso se president no no ye board chairman Emma Ghana Gas and we all know say nanado time no nipa no ye board chairman Emma Ghana Gas eye yewura Kennedy akompreko Japan enu nti sanka unsuro a nanka wabodin na wogusu a wo kasa no wonim se NPP se a wo ye dan aye wo camp ni nyina members ewom eno ana wo mo a wo ye sympathizers of Kennedy Japan ene anya asam ketwa ebufuo sore ya ene nka ebinom krampo full state akọbu Kwame Bafwa Bronye se wonsuro a ommo Kennedy Japan din na afa krampo no if indeed se onim ne all as regional chairman on kan de yewura Bawumia ba obeye na mmom se wo begina platform so na wo betoto ayampia etia Kennedy Japan de enya de se ombema no kwan san krofo yin so a omubufu Kwame Bafwa Bronye enra no wo munye party foforo bia nipa wo munye NPP fo ema anenra no omubuafu a ye beka ne se it got to a time kra no the whole campaign was made by violence not bloodily but de ne yempene in fact omuhuru Kwame Bafwa Bronye kra ma meeting no entimi ankoyi the engagement with the party members no entimi ankoyi so I think say going forward no if Sasa Kwame Bafwa Bronye or better branded the campaign message I walk ye diama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the earlier the better ne momo say also obekon into verbal attack any throwing of tantrums there any I think say the camp of Kennedy Japan will also face him squarely. And at the end of the day, no, biana ankwankoye papa going forward as a political party. It's a principal enra DSC wa German South no na enya sam ketwa. And I think the presence of the military and the police ana scare mebuno. And this ampu ananka ebinom pese omukọ bono ewo platform so because so when your podium na sa wo kasa candidate betimi ayo. Na emom no se wo nka no na se wo betro tantrums etia Kennedy Japan de ayen so ye ntwema so eno ana ekọ so amanyo semo no principal na watwe mu in fact campaign no emu ayire because campaign mu ayire a yewura kwabra Japan campaign wo de nambenkum Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia e de namnifa yewura Kennedy Japan enso de nambabi ono so de nammu ena yewura osai yodutum Brian Champon in fact na watwe mu yenya some group of members bi a wɔn a defective from Kennedy Japan camp a wɔn ɛkɔ Brian the Temple camp yɛwɔ wɔn nso a defective from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia camp ɛkɔ Yewura Kennedy Akompre ɛkɔ Japan camp and say what's a Ghana man yourself asia principal nsɛm bi say no ɛnya nwanwa because bɛka even few days or few weeks to elections a aya ne yɛhunu sɛ ekuo wei ɔma defect efiri ha akɔ ha ɛno mpo deɛ ɛyɛ normal but baako a again public attention ɛyɛ unim sɛ uduro mmarahyɛ badwa mu a minority no dɔmkuma no wɔn yɛ 87 wukuada no ana beto dwa sɛ emu maako 65 ɛtro wɔn support ɛde ama Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia and ɛbaayɛ no wɔn a wɔn te amanyɔsɛm ase the political analysts political commentators political science lecturers in Ghana wɔn ɛkasa condemn sɛ idea no a mmarahyɛ badwafoɔ no nyaeɛ no ɛyɛ wrong na asɛ wɔn bɛ create division ɛwɔ amanyɔkuo no mu firi sɛ enipa enum ana ɛkɔ akansie enti out of 87 members of parliament a moyɛ NPP foɔ no sɛ emu 65 ɛka sɛ wɔn control support ɛde ama one candidate na at the end of the day candidate na mo declare support man no sɛ wɔn wɔ ama how are you going to preach peace and unity going forward into 2028 so principal no yɛ nkɔmɔ baako a yɛnim sɛ nyame adama wɔkyena we are resuming a new week and also yɛbɛdi ho nkɔmɔ
na answer na betas me musa say this member of parliament say they done this before there was a lot of condemnation was senior almost quarter nipa back and always they go for yeah and then no the questions be brave but and they are still not learning from these things
principal and say going into 2024 elections yenya NPP mmarahyɛ badwafoɔ openly they came out a wɔn bɛ declare wɔn support through wɔn weight to Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia at that time na wɔyɛ certain vice president na also contested the flag bearership race na nka yɛ nananom kɔ asɛm bi wɔn ka nananom asɛ bi yɛsɛ wɔn ankɔ school da no wɔn asɛm bi a na wɔn ka na da bia no meka sɛ our forefathers no ayɛsɛ wɔn ansi classroom da no they were the true philosophers na nananom ka asɛm sɛ dompa akurotwi amansa awiaka no sɛ asakraman bɔtera wonya ayemtuo ɛne sɛ deɛ woyɛ no ɛnura no a amfa nsunsuanso papa amrɛ wɔ no ɛnɛ yɛ repeat bio na ɛyɛ na mpɛne sɛ dɔtɔ nso obedi akurubu a ɛyɛ na ifra awosoɔ nea ɛkɔ soɔ no ana ɛpaa besi sɛ Kennedy wɔ hena akɔmpere kɔ Japan ɛyɛ na ne bufu bebrebe no efiri sɛ party ni nyinaa no at the end of the day deɛ mu yɛ ni nyinaa no ɛyɛ political power ana mɔpɛ and political power nso sɛ wɔn nsa bɛka a muhia nkabo mu priority abena muhia nkabo mu na mmom sɛ mo bɛhyɛ aseɛ sɛ yɛdeɛ yɛyɛ members of parliament yɛyi yɛnim yɛ declare yɛn support ɛde ama candidate A na at the end of the day A no ama B no a na sɛ B ne ba ɛno no mo bɛyɛ dɛ na mo asa aba bio ɛyɛ na mpɛne sɛ bi aboa kraman na tentasuo to fam a wɔsa akɔ ho kɔfa nti na ba ne sɛ no a yɛbusa sɛ NPP no Council of Elders no wɔn yɛ dan Functional Executive Committee no wɔn yɛ dan the Disciplinary Committee of the NPP no wɔn wɔ hɔ sɛ wɔn bɛhwɛ ama bibi sɛ akɔ so a ɛnna na at the end of the day no sɛ NPP no 2028 candidate a wɔn ɛpɛ no sɛ wɔama na sɛ ebi nkuguo ba obi nka sɛ nkuguo mmra na ebom no so wɔkyena bi nkuguo ba na akɔyɛ te sɛ dragon na Bible kan na ho asɛm sɛ ɔno a de ne se asi ɔno a ne dua ana wɔsa ateɛ mu no ɛno bi ana a manifest in the politics of Ghana. And in fact, a lot of Ghanaians are wɔn amanyɔsɛm aseɛ no condemn the step taken by these members of parliament to say wɔn bɛ showcase wɔn support any wɔn to support one candidate at the time one party no ehia unity at this time principal.
Okay. Yeah, to ask him say abronye ensem no mensa kan wa ha but I'll deal with that later. Answer me or the two jano. say we are now for meet me about my tea for a TBA. Nti young twaso.
Me da say. So principal ye twaso ne akoye nimu a unim say aban yi ba ye as part of abano reset Ghana agenda watonsa wamakwan ema the various ministries any institutions no wamo ebeka the wamo they can say government accountability series ekoso ewo Ghana has since aban yi ba ye na watwi mu na education minister Yera Haruna Idrusu a sign mrase bedwani Tamale South okogina platform so a na all the education ministry no womo ba ye so far de womo ye de womo ye ene de womo ba beyo na eno anwadi to dwa na so obeka ya menimu ada sa wosa ka video ni bia abayo bia I think say our class 3 was asante mantam ha ba bi me person mebo school no edin na oye basic school student teacher ni kire no ade na teacher ni no why can brofo amakwada na ntiase so obisa abofra no question ana abofra no ka say teacher de wo kan ni nyina no brofo enu ntimente wo hwesa de akwada no se ka asem no a the teacher was attempted to cane akwara no wo yana be say bia nkobehwe akwara no but o video ye mfa say video no eba ye no I gain attention. I'm a Kwakodru education minister enim. Na eno ana enra education minister okasano. What dia to just say? Sa video no wonu so ahunu bi. Na with the order from the president. In fact, wabra okasano so na mampani John Dramani Mahama na wati hobi. Inti dia course woni nyina no gladly mampani so ete na wo hwebi. Ehona na education minister dia to just say efiti na ekrin Ghana, all the teachers across board in this country. Muchra idea basic school no. If it in with the power vested in him by the president. As I say, brofua ya ne compulsory basic school no ye twemu. So if it in English language speaking is no longer compulsory in Ghana's basic schools. Therefore, depending upon the jurisdiction, baby, I would watch radio. Say, I asante memua. O can brofo tira kwadano na sa kwadano wantiasia. O wakwenya sa odi twi bekirekirim. Say, I am fantememu na wa fam fantechire kwadana de. Say, I be memu na wa forever kasa kira bofra de. Say, I sesala wherever you are. Say, Nzemala so na wa depending upon the jurisdiction no. What me use local languages and all the mother tongues and teacher you are now eligible. Say what this language in better idea. So if it's in the English speaking is no longer compulsory for whether teaching or anything in classroom. In basic schools are we no about one thing. Na principal no pay me no kasa we Minim say then one of the topics.
Yeah.
So me engage some educationists. Ibinum ye headmasters, ibinum ye teachers. Almost one raise concern a very thoughtful. And they say, many teachers better na kasano pay. One much say the abana kano ye. Name womuno. BC ye questions nan kwadane trono. Ye de brofo natural. Curriculum now ye de tire mofrana de anonso. Ye brofo nkwane ye de atro. So se wo se akwada no won tebrofo nti yemfa twi nkwa na enkyira no even science akra no yemfa twi na enkyira science mu ema bofra no nti ase a okodru BC ho no mu a brofo no a teacher ni na amfa enkyira bofra no eno ne ade asset exams questions ama no a no obeden wetimi atra pass. These are the concerns and thoughts at for any education need be essay to say one mu tirim say say an curriculum no A to Z brofo. So yamfa say L1 which is learner 1. Ye the tree any other local dialect actually abofra no mene wate ase. Okodru examination hall no a de nanka teacher ne pesa kwada no force we decode na etimi meet the exams questions no. What's there be onfa tree onfa local language ntre. So the local language ne tira abofra no na kwadaro otimi define matter local language na so kodru exams na atro no brofo what is matter list the 3 states of matter abofra no brofo no beda atiase na wa pass. So I think principal
Mame Musa Asembako, but the subject as English language is still there.
Sure,
in the
it's still there.
And you better English.
You better English.
Na fe no. Sekoba se wo tra dia e na eni akona antiase akwana antiase brofo dia obetimi twi achichi. Yes, Anete.
We the twi achichi. Yes, Anete.
The base grana say, I mean, this is issue. I'm say, actually, I'm say pijabaya about whether we use local language, you know. I see it. Oh, because Accra first language, you know. Any day, we need to really be able to identify the first language. Accra, any kasa, and I say English language. Oh, which of course. I know you're questionable. I say, yeah, no, I say English, you know, whether your first language or second language, you don't know. And see, me name where the argument is going and answer coming from, but so I didn't just say, bro. Now, for a moment, no, for explanation's sake, it's not like for our local language coach that but since you moon into the tree. And I said, "Nikrom Kasabe to me, I can't watch as yeah. Is it not a good direction? Personally, I feel it's a good direction anyway."
Sure. In fact, so what the buff from pa say Obiantiasia. In fact, principal, a step in the right direction. Me comment was it is even long overdue.
That's right.
I said, but the point is, say Abofrano. Yeah, the tree in Tiranasia, Nabia. Nifan say, you were concord, you know, subject verb agreement.
That's right.
Na would the Brofotira Quadano concord, subject verb agreement. Na Quaran Brofun into Antiasia. But offer so the tree in Tiranas or Quatiasia. Brofuna teacher in the Kaya Wantiasiano. And no number for a chrono as a question examination room.
Yeah, but you're trading English. So, Tinena, I can't born a beer, and I be upon that because you know English as a subject. I mean, where the problem is coming from. I mean, you're English, dada, and you say English never treat coach. And yes, I
sure. I said yes. Me who say local language is now abano ayene or ensano. Me who say additive. A additional to the English language.
That is the expectation.
Sure, that's the expectation. Say, what can brofuna as a brofuna for an entity? As I was a first, no, not teachers, and I teach a woman say, one more cheer. 3 crown wound to minka, into San Caquadano, yen a crown pankia, the brofu better the tree language. But here is the case, Acrano. So what can brofuna Tirano Sabia at the end of definition on Tia Share or brofua? Oh, Quenya said, oh, Quenya said, what the tree, a better of Frana de Chrono, what here. So I think that. If we are going forward, you know, minimum what the education sector, no, any teachers, and I don't know there be a argument in free everybody. We are still watching. Yes, we are still watching.
Okay, all right. You trust me? Now you heard the aka.
Yes, and principal no young komo back na the menu be anopay no. So be kaya 2023. Police inspector. Your friend no. Inspector Ahmed Tumesi, your bonnet said Takum. Beto just said the girlfriend, I want anything. I will come see her. Waboli to you, Econo, so 2 years ago.
That's right, that's true, Mikapa.
Sure. So, as someone, Yantrim, which is Friday, no? Yes, Friday, no? Anna, Atemu, no, Ebaya. Atemua for Makumaku num and song and I tena so e wo Kumasi High Court. Na Atemu ni ba ya the Kosi yani say 5-2 verdict no. Inspector Tumesi Yamano life imprisonment onko dem no ne aban enkoko enhye e wo afiase. Na yenya kwanya enura yenya kwanya ene maadwoa na owuye no. Nebusua penny asemi baye odi mu ntintiman ye ne no ehyiae Emma wom ochirechire mu se judges na wom tena asem no so no I can say jury no wom na kwan bi so no wom ma atemwo no echeye nanso ne be kan say ebia bibi say no na ne yie mu a eno ntine de opa ne say fine atemwo na wom pe they were seeking for justice for wom de share madwa and the justice no aba nanso no on shada enye too satisfied satisfaction na open ne say one was say nka aban car ane kun ne de share no nka insurance be cover e wosi kasem mu the same way ana eya aban to ana ekun ne de share no nti no aside say ya man life imprisonment no at least compensate ebusua no because madwa no wo e baba ko a wagya no wachiri se de be abofra no onyini ba no enye te say wa meto ne maame nti na brabo asai ana wonyini beto say police ni bi ana de aban tuo ekun ne maame na bi akwada no obenyini in trauma e ha adwanti nka na busapen ne hwani mu say after say police ne no ye man no life imprisonment no e bi anka osan kaban e compensate abusua no so kakra wusi kasem mu say ne be ya o mbetimi de ahwe abofra no a onyini ba ne firi say e ya ban ka ana kun maame no a anka insurance ebetuaka nti sene aban tuo ekondisia no a there's some monetary compensation na nkomo hwe ne mu but all the same no principal buy and buy eno a atemu e buy ne chese police inspector Chumesi Ahmed Takum on life imprisonment
say justice grind slowly but kwan bia so atentene ne de but before so be kono the former first lady Nana Kunedu Rollins. Now what you free no. How is Ghana for FNO news no?
In fact, Nana Kunedu Rollins ni no. Yebeka say apem emema. Apem ema. E wo dignitaries a wo mo ade wo voice to maame no wu no a. Wotimi say Ghana ya hwe ade. So obeka ye a Emrana Nikuno flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rollins at Swana Mami. Says a mampany be abet Naswa and Pempino. I am not set or best succeed and I unsucceed no. Neither futu ekahu ebi. And unti yenim say flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rollins better than Swana. Sabrano and 1982. Yenya 31st Women Movement. Na ya maame Kunedu Adjumah Rollins wona na edimu ntintiman e ma saa e ma koi e baaye na wo mo e champion the interest of a ma say omo go through niema bia ensem fata wo mo right ye invade ene niema bia na nka na ekutia e ma bere bia twam na enam so na ma 1985 PNDC law 111 intestate succession law baaye sabre no se wo ba bi ni kuna bobra na ba ma ni wu a na busuafo akopam oba no afirifie ni age agapade intestate succession law na ba ye no Ghanaians were attributing that fact to say ya maame Kunedu Adjumah Rollins aka ho bi na saa mra ne ba ya ene Ghana ma edidi ho abepem ne so ye be kan say maame ni wu ye ne de in fact abo Ghana ma ni nyina pusa enra wotie ye mampenda da akofo nsem a wokan ye too emotional and ya semame no wa free mu ye was some sitting members of parliament wo mo bo maame abaso se eme wo Ghana kukodrufo pa among them and ye maame Kunedu Adjumah Rollins and maame eko na de mani wo no eye ya ne se ba ti sa bosome ne kakra ni a asante hima free mu ye hu ye maame Kunedu Adjumah Rollins se wona ne ma ababa tia ye wura wo pem so a maame ne ho dendenden na say within a month or two say maame so yantene yare na ye say after short ailment ye na koto Ridge Hospital na maame wa mabie mu in fact ya and you share videos coming out from maame no ne residence o say principal ye tin cranty maame ni fie ba bia no wote we know there
okay
na ene wo hwɛ sɛ ne videos ni si ba dignitaries coming in going out ni padomo ekoho no in fact Ghana ye luso ade pa nti ya so yan kan sa principal na unim say 2025 In fact, when Ghana Edipao.
Nipa every 2025 is some people.
I can say for the year 2025. Edi wo mahwe fam nyasan getwa yenim say yeka say yem papa Charles Kodwo that Lumba ehye ho no mu ayenyi no Ghana ye tinisuo ana Apostle Kodwo Safo enso abe papa ya so mu a ye ma me Kunadu Agema Rollins na je say yeka say asantefo akuku dam akese amyensa ana wo mu da ho ya tere say in fact asanteman ye ni da koto moja mu a ye so say because of one more achievement any one legacy into the young case a santeman kwananya a gun. Oh, mina feedback in waha.
Then you say, as I also can be used about you, indeed. But more than a friend, me poem net 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. On them say, a sort of them be out, me boy.
Me and Sint Magono one time.
What did a friend didn't come on? Why?
But I say.
That's a part of the show. All right. Okay. Bye. All right. Okay, Jabokran, and you're turning Kano or Repa FM or Repa TV, your reporter or the Bray, and some the Bray. Oh, there's some not Bray, and I want to come up.
You don't be a woman, I'm a one of the you're being woman, there was 7,000 workers, there were factories in the place. Oh, wait, the whole Ghana, once in the air, you are reading, and a region here, you are going to mean anyone. Now, the Pana or Assassin, Nippon once, maybe Mutan. Your police station executive, Makumaku says something. And so, a woman all over me, the police station executive, yes, I want to be. That's what I want. Can you about me? Can you about me? I'm to be I need
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go.
A few moments later.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Okay, so Yabada Okoji Abokran Sena story or the bray, a home and 70 about Abronya and a home and some. I mean, comments and idea. His comments were immediately met with sharp, angry reactions from sections of the crowd, signaling widespread fatigue with the party's internal hostilities. Inti yade no be see or yebe lines no so, but can Japan so didn't say me tuja. Meko lines no sense medical forbid that, but I will get back to the lines. Mami emfawe infrio.
Ntumi nko ntopa na ato akika. Se dia akika. Ba odi mniama ye. Maye te se aboa okodie eagle. Ena adoma bi ye friend raven. Osi okodie na chia. Na ososo no. Na ososo no. Okodie no ne nsa baako sei, ne wings no 7 feet. Wo betimi dia bo raven no na nka wa free so enso no wodi mini awoye onka ne hwe na wokosoro okosoro ubonze raven na wo soso eagle no ontumi enhome na ono ankasa efri esoro abahwefo ti say sound my to say eagle no atemdidi aye di ni nyina no mente he odi no ansem me too far ti monye ni Canada Japan enye basa and I assure you I'll be a fine president. I will develop the law.
Okay, so Canada Japan, that's the response. Anyway, 17 minutes after 1. Mamin Collins and Hosanafi, Omo Amafom, no, heard how many Omo in Incomo. 07908443338. You can join us now. Head back. Principal, NE. I'm about to wow for lines. No, I'm in France, and I'm call a Japoku or North London.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Principal.
Yes, sir.
Ethiopia. Now say there. Sir, a school now goes. I saw it now to remember.
School near Germany na.
Okay.
But I say no. I'm that time no. Wednesday. They say me Wednesday no. Wednesday and you Rebecca home.
Okay.
There's a manya kwanya Sunday now.
Wednesday
and you Wednesday and agree. Wednesday the enemy. Make it 9 o'clock. You better say 9 o'clock. I go pin 12 midnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of time. Medasi.
Peter Constitution. Yeah. Niamana, yes, me na so ko emu dudu say kama se na me kaka. Me start to first sikasam first kakle bi. Sikasam no say dey e kasa constitution yan say na o say former no asem o kan no. Sa papa penete. I say double no. Sa graduate for no teach me kasa o mu na o. Dodon o me su adwen de bia giganes abro. O me digana abro. Iti constitution de bia meka so na bi mu betutu mi sa almost yes stand the yes stand not. What the ever no to yanko school no so. School no ade a ye tam na yan kwan bia akra no. English no twi no tete no sa tam no meka say me yi kakra de sa no meka no. Sa tam no na ye di ni na futuru. E ka ade fra. And school no kwase me ye me go say ye okay. Did you set teacher for me say omo dey say omo messe na akwara na ti ade na se ye o messe na ma English no mo match we dey akọ English mo watch ni eti e o problem sa ade no eti say omo touch ya nka be boy yeah abro ye dey media dey be me kai dey ono kai dey biti ono dey na sam dey yeah na etu be ya me pesa meka papa bia ba dia wo pa ne say obi a me di MPC dia na maka obi a on pen kwari dia no Kennedy me so me kuku ha me sa but say one man nante no wo hwe gusa de ne yesen de me kuku say o ya de na nyame nda ma wo kwata say ade no wa ye ne enye ntina ko dabi etina me say me support Kennedy no so ade bi wo a Ghana fo yes sa pipa say sa koide ye pobia obetumi adane Ghana ni Obia, or say, Obi this guy. On farm to check. I say, Kufo can be says, can I move? So what you make out now? One of you one. It's not, I'm saying, naive, no, ministers will be careful. Oh, say, you need to be able to know so pa. No, I'm MPC, woman, not, like I say, a greedy. As a Kennedy bar, on young woman minister, to me, Sudanese cat, rough as that. No.
Okay, anyway, constitution, fancy name will be back.
Okay, it's a member, you say, Obia. 7. Or support vice president Pano. Woman then said, now, Usha, a year, or for Utimi, Usha Jemfua, Usha, one can and be me, I didn't not check. And so, only sir, apart from the name, I know, Samiliano, obeying. Obia, but make your father, was a doctor. It gave me the doctor there. Okay, well, I'm on the car. Because
even apart from Kennedy Japan, there's another strong force. It is Brian Champon says so. Another strong force.
Oh yeah, chest high power. Obibiano said, "Uko from now ubisa." Now say Obiani needed as well say, "Yem 24 years na year for mo di abro." So it's you woman in aye, but say no branch up on the woman in Obia na so Obia ho and scan there. Mram town pana, Odi, or so for big now crown, I saw so oba from Omobo Gaman. What did you be now crown or by the essay? And
okay,
can be or yeah, a pa. So Ghana for delicate, Ghana for delicate for say yes, get Nadia, one more promise, one more control, no more to far pardia, and then can't mean say Ghana, but 4 years time.
Medase constitution, Yamisha, na Yama Obi frustrated. So Ajabogu free North London. I hope say Ajabogu.
Mpacho me wa. Boko na also.
Nyamiadum hoya pa.
Na why na mpesa me contribute to kakra. Na mse Ghana for yen no corruption no. Say say word na yen tiasio say den it becomes a problem to us. So one of our party members, corruption. It seems it's okay. What did they mention as it? But then we had for it's not all right. My main fan started say a chroma says will be a president. That's a prime minister. Say hi any president, but your prime minister. Now America probably more president. Say we presidential ambitions near one state no and a mau by bitna and answer one was say who try say who be found the way to me my immediate the mimi say woman treat you or bibia woman treat you bibia even taxes crown omu tue share Rollins and in a year omu 1979 buy omu chichi nipa bubo war. So be cry wakwaji besia in a position akwaji besia o tietia ye kuni bi eka say wa ambezo na your friend is saying the position at the aye. That's right.
Okay.
But from 79 till now and I could do ordinary omugu abai efi abai need a sponsor. Is that corruption?
I think that's how it's supposed to be. Sanity. As you
laws, to suit himself. Rollins and the corruption. Your politicians here says or micro no near ye. Why? Because say after 10 years, who bought micro no 10 years after no. Before after 10 years and son here to me be so cross say wabo chrono and answer more chrono and I near on this amra no by two your friend is saying to ye cry ye what diaspora boy what me the word ye coffee what the qua those things no na say ye sees you car ye sees ye timi ton at a cheaper rate no timi to but who no a woody untimi enye. Rollins na this laws by.
Yeah, but times have gone up. Times, government, successive governments have come in and gone. And you don't blame Onunkwa for all these, but what about the successive governments now? What's the change?
It's benefiting every parliamentarian and president.
Yeah, so we don't blame NDC type PNDC. I mean, there are successive governments. Why are they not doing anything about it?
And I may say, because a benefit woman, none of them is trying to change it. Because
Domlovo, for example, was say, case Dibiano. People are paying more money for astute lawyers. Ebe defend your one that someone copying say na buy bet national sem no ba na buy na be
but then since you say Osha the laws constitution na sene yenu na odi kan buy no eno na government of man no manage me yes but because say a benefit is anipanontino none of them is trying to change it. This is where I'm coming from. Yes, but then we as a people no and I was say yetimi hunu say sisi no sa nipa no they are not there to help us as a nation. One adenti say me no me no ti hui say me ana say wo ya maun government source na adwuma na say oh yes adwuma no na say wonko na wo say wonya sika wo man no na say wo utimi bie factory na wo fa nipa wo mu a ayade enwanwa but then a politicians every Canada Japan or no gina a so I can say or no Juma why you say party man a Juma say and now others Baumia count on Swasemi Baumia for one on also Nimia contract or demand who Walugu say and a Juman crown wanya or my discano and society pays some prime president Eddie. What did they mention? Me, my
contract, Niniana or Manye.
Yeah, Walugo down. Would they do your research and probably next week in IBIA? Walugo down, no, Omokaso, Omanyana, Omanye, they expanded the money. What did they mention? Indeed, then. One thing we have one thing we have to understand as a people is say you will say now you who says political gimmicks one more year we need to wake up as a people and start challenging whatever they're trying to Mahama Banani one no source no or the Juma Maninu. I know say a year right said Ghana ni be yes Juma. But sen go advertise a Juma no. What did you say? Ghana for be well one common to me and man may apply for anyway. Why are they doing that? Why?
Okay. Why
people who fight corruption. Why should they be doing that? Me da wase mami nya wo na obi so ma.
Me da se jepo kunyami shapa.
Okay. Me da wase bi.
Me da se pa. Your call lines no so bio na your to phone line now number 073 traffic.
Hello.
Yes sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I say
Boko.
Yo me da se me started preschool curriculum.
Ubo di no madama.
I want penny.
I want penny.
Yo me da se principal school curriculum in there so reform no and also year changes and you me were 5-year-old child or Ghana or school over homework the man no on living things
on what
and fractions
living things the fractions no way.
I call out 5 years to know.
Who's the development of a child?
Yeah, but the age, unim age at class start school.
That's a by 2 or 3, 2, is it?
2 no year or more. omo parents no timi ewo adwumantino so mo de omo ba no co school entem no omo no de omo statute akola bi wa two kra no on timi nkasa.
Yeah, that's true. In TSO started around what I think 3 is it
5 years in akola started school.
5 years.
Yeah, Kromha.
Oh.
On a normal, you know.
Me starting you know.
And I'm just saying, didn't start in Tema, and I'm just saying, be a Jumantino.
Yeah, but officially,
with me, and you're not in the school term. I don't know what Colabio had 2 years, 2.5 prana Casa Crown, Timing can be.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Two, no crown, difficult. Yeah.
Exactly. 85 years, you know, they no go school. Can I feel no be alphabet? No money 1, 2, 3. No money ade who Chrome. Chrome hana nkasa their first show mo yimu krana English and math is their main subject. Almost percent calculate sorry, math and science.
Math and science. English. Okay.
English is the third subject.
Okay.
Krana English yomo, you know. But Oko Ghana, when you say normal introduce to French compulsory, they can't English Ghana a curriculum.
Anyway.
Because
French and Ankasa meaning anyway, I just don't want to be here.
Almost say all the surrounding countries all Ghana. No.
But I'm not sure how they should have BBS out.
The English and the French, it's just a common language. It is all the money composed here. Obi language in our also say on Nipano and Kana so on finding Chinese name Japan money their president don't speak English.
And I'm thinking I know say almost the language in the trade.
Exactly.
Yeah,
language. How they are doing it. And you know, yeah, Chrome one, I think say yeah, where you pa me come and I mean kai abronya ni MPP for asem kakra. Who said party there's no way unity or peace will come in anywhere soon.
Oh, what do you mean?
Because onipa no the confusion about party ni muna kasa. Ono na offer as a unity meeting and I say ono advise you. Nanado ono the confusion in aba because one nanado no what they can amobia aware say who support to assume as you way.
Nanado nko anya MPC ni ade nya so mka.
But say nanado no no akofre say or fresh 5 candidates in na no advise you. Na me nim say who support to assume as here. Na ma betra o say advise me. What kind of advice would give me a bebo me?
I know say I with my dream. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and you know, no started the confusion by now she party or no any government in the cry and I saw no any na yo yeah she sky on my d sky on my we are. Oma ba me na be can say or no tama or the party or yeah my party ba abamu no right and kophobia in tama party ba eba abamu. And no near see a friend no brother chess uncle for no money scan it be omunye sika fee. A young way, you be so big question, not it your yes, also the ghost names ababe the Ghana card ababe ghost names a free pay rule system. And to look at what's going on. While corruption yes bosso was Nana Bamua.
But it's not
yeah, but him said Nana do the ultimate say I West Cra.
Is that what you think?
Corruption Komupa because of share information I be baby. Ultimate say not by time on corruption cause super.
Is that what you think?
Oh, but I share information I be ya tell to me and deny.
Anyway. Yeah, no, good for some rubbish.
Okay, that's it. Bye.
That's it. Bye. Okay, my main call WhatsApp lines. So, na men samra we are now fame about phone line.
Opening.
Hello.
Aja mahai.
Yeah, aja. But you didn't have
No. Aja usi na kasai.
Aja usi.
Na ho ye de.
Ya me adom ho ye pa. Adom. Me ho ye pa.
Kedora de asepa. Enema be ba ko mi no mi ense bi na mpese. Me ti free ho.
Okay.
Sir, ye chradwena we ye chradwena na ye ya accuse. So, ye me pesa me kan fa education na ho no.
Yeah.
Me chrema dwene kakra fa ho say. Esasa minister no ya de. Me mo na baso.
For the introduction, at least Idris Akwana and Sasio Bofuma with me the tree. And I said the native language with my channel at the end.
We, Esasa yenya enkofa umbetimi adwene ma o man wo ho.
Yeah.
Enye se ye fa no saa na community bi wo ho a ne mother tongue no so ho. Omo yet population yes sign what that area ho.
Yeah.
Enti me madwenche ne say yenchem ebia bese e 9 ye wo 16 regions so ho.
Yeah.
Yenchem bia bese 9 anam yenu na nye compulsory sa papa ya o interview no from Kumasi Uniati Uniapati bi no ho. No see teacher for me
me reporter no.
Yeah, reporter no see we need teacher for me and san bia kasa if I say quite best so near be far you better exams in on crony ba e ma okra o kanta no chiri mu chere
no omo consensus ni say akra na ko examination hall
me examination hall no
so
bibia anya den say ya check me fa say asa no ye di ba ko pe e na be kan either twi o evel ye introduce ba ko so untimi stati bebre enkoye ne bebre mfa nko exam hall ne mo ba ko mienu bi de ye betimi aye so ye betimi aye de akọ exam hall some French ye French exam hall boa
French
yeah French
yeah
and today Hispanic so much
it depends on individual schools and maybe
yes
but French
enti we no esasa minister nya akokoduro
yeah
so me jiti ye pa say minister no waya de but oni akokoduro ni courage no because ojidi say
wakatro
ana me say oni akokoduro me say wantimi anwaye nimu so say eye bipa on say oko enkranmam na sa asem we si ya ojiri sanka beba abonten say odi omfa ne krom kasa enka enkyeremu a ojiri sanka beba abonten because ekoye an language no eninti ne ma eko vara ama wonye biatie
okay
yefa no to ho ye taso mienu me fwankofo na enka no mu ko omodo mo nsa koketa abronye no me fwa wo mo so pa ampa yeah me fwa wo mo so me no mo ya adwen o say candidate in the bet me
yeah they were saying candidate
yeah candidate bet me aye nana komya say o ka ho papa nana komya bondin
o ka ho
ada nana komya beba peace fm bia no just say kasa so ho the more na o kasa no na wagya wachi ho
yeah
me makasa me tena him vie sa o ton wo nipa me ton me pesa o beye pani a ho de wo betimi aye no ene na me duere on me nkasa onti say on kasa say the more na o ye say onti say no nipa ba na aka no ono na wo project no
yeah
me candidate ne de ndi bumfu na chesa wo pesa me ka ho me bufu me boa enti omo hwe omo kasa ne ye pa na mmom enkan maburu no betimi a gina wo mo na so ama obi a wo beton nipa na odi obi foforo ba se we what say amunchi no hwe no mbram omo hwe no pra asabao asababa sa
me issue e wo sa atem didi hu ne o didi obi atem ne any MPs are no makwata will be a chin say.
And
one person, you better you know. Now, all we na say, we nipa na akwata na chin, yan twaba man as see, we na say, Dr. Baumia Winnie, like a Japan could, and the MP 60 now, I could tie Baumia.
Men can say, Sabin brothers, Yansa woman, a baby woman, my main finance and to the way about Papa be woman. And I be swab by my woman. Omunya the Omoyen. Yaminka, meet you.
Bye. Okay, bye. Well, just about 20 minutes to yes, about 21 minutes to 2 o'clock. 2 prepare them did you make any barrier? My main call lines and so if you hello.
Mr. Bar.
Yes, sir. Aqua David.
Yo, me that's it. Metia at your phone or more free so. Minister. Helen Dusin was introduce Sagadi use in your language.
It's not like here be your language, it's to say what the Brofo Chakra and I know on Tiasia. But what is always in native language, you know, I come.
Okay. Orchestra or consultant president.
Not president, it's you. And okay, say president to say Onka.
And your president Jana or Robert Montebeka say Asante for and Tibrofo. No one.
Maybe also the Nakofa.
Aye, one of the Casa Asante for and Tibrofo. Wabra, a Brunia Santini, a Baku, Wabra also you saw in Tibrofo.
Baby, I did enough in Honica.
No, we went to Tibrofo. As well, yeah, it's a real Casa is here. Or say, Obi more abranye. What's your broche? What's your broche? Pa, what trample mu? 6 hours. I be drop broche hasi. Who encourages any pamurubi? Murubi. Ah. Second, your poor be obika as somebody that can put on the say.
Of us, and then
you find somebody po.
There be by Bronya, no corner. Oh, tape na me boy.
I have full swat. That's what we can say. Oh, Mobi.
I know the Fana. I know the some kind of okay. Yes, the intention is we are not basing on Obinko Bobi. But the say Senkom do Musa Kanwa. Nasa Bronya do ye na Kombo and Tinkawane.
I don't say Abronya. Aya wanye ni obi ka semwa enye nan ke buru anka joma
ma ke kasa ko jino akwa ya de no no de no de won ka de obi a o se ye bo na nko fa so no na abaka
na bi on se apronya akoye enye na wo so trabro chia na wo ka se omu emu no a
eno de doesn't matter ye nya mo no atwam
you rock Kennedy atem ne be no ni ye. What we did, ma, I sent him,
David, Mr. Oh, you know, can Japan send here or here. But you can Japan send here what here in the past, any idea now. But the fact of the matter is, while Barbie drew flag bearership camp, more party, Uti. Ain't now? I'm not sure, sir, it is advisable, Safi, and mobile quietly. I can see what didn't matter. Anyway, you wait, why?
Don't about me. And no, I mean, no, buy a share a yassi. Make a no more. Why, make a chance say, Penifon, a brilliant cassa.
Okay.
So, Ocasa, no one, dear Oyen.
Now, brother, did that you into Penidia to me, friend or party.
No, so just say,
Mr. And your or can some go for room no much of Bunas and Nasama. But the American say, the American
one, Oban Paris, Mono. Also, a year, I was a woody scar. Ocasama, Obia, Emu. Now, what's got you? What we can do? Pebia, not my for a Rijamon. A brother would deal be at him. Would deal be at him. So, a brother would deal be at him. As I'm not kind of be a one can hear. Oh, me, brother,
but this is the problem. David.
Yeah.
Many maybe I may opinion, I be a meme side and other me who dia. The problem now, this is the problem. Say idea condemnable. More so. I said no.
Can I Abronia
no, you be to me friend on Tunufo.
I'm just saying, the papa. And I'm just saying, a Kennedy or so that's will be the president. Abronia also will be president. Mama also will be the president. Abronia also will be the president.
Let's isolate this. Isolate this case. This scenario. About Timmy.
For me, because Kufuado and I say a party. Kufuado or more biasum. Or more biasum.
Okay.
Ata Akasaway. You are honest. Or Bruno. So as a party. Akufuado o mo obiaso yesu kra no esuafo du biedo no na owo emumiensa onom nante eduro bi kra na ba ko pe awade jon no da ko mu enti wo akufuado de bo chi no enso akufuado he is kicking onam what the president awie po what the president awie mo wie po nyina kwa wran what the president awie mo nya sa de no
me das ya kwa David Nyamisha. Okay. All right. Let me try. Say I could do video bit me but it's fine. It's okay. 079084433338. Now, was with my friend Adwa Juntre Abba and Chenny Rijmadi and Bana Mekao say Sunday away with me. I call Jamestown Foods. I call baby Atana say did come and a Saturday and a Sunday. Sorry. But the day ni kwache. And a Sunday Jamestown Foods were late in Liberty Road or money. Subway no ebo ho o libido to tesco kese na no enchen ho de ho na mutuo banku tilapia bara ya che bara ya no de ope bia fufu ni nyina abetimi akodi bi ho de obenom ni nyina wo bi na face so we are offline sense ho betimi adidwa kakra eno so ensema ho anke bot me cha ne na hima na Kate no mo kitchen ho nyina no mechia munyina mame collines so ofasike
ofani me kwa me ma ha o
yeah
yo the American sabi nkwada school ni twi no bro for you pastor we must accept say English our second language in Ghana and the colonization na buy in Tino e bibia be court to asem pra bro friend
you be very clear English your native language which one is the first one?
Yes, okay.
The first language in Ghana.
Okay.
Obasike. The first language in Ghana. Languages.
Second language, English. And I'm saying administration base
on English language. But your communication, the most, I'm not going to say preferred, but they adopted. And I said, your communication in Ghana, majority of them is in English language.
There be no English. Nanso I was practical. And you call to know English.
You call to
the American say, "Chini, young children down alongside the English language."
That is the direct.
And no better. So I know. So you na kwadan so want to bro for us kra. Kwadan easy to learn. And to be him the tree na children no asa ka bro for na children. Some and be talk kwadan team the long round. What library ni mani mano kusia de no ne fia ye ka de bia ya meka house and table kura kwada no wo fia no what na se fia no ni bi enam say ya ni me bia e ba social house in no town and country plan in no na bi bia kwa ba sa na kwada na education say where to do people no de bia no mo ko anymore wo mutin kwada no be important people in Ghana and you this is a good home. Although say Roman wasn't building the background, they are sharing too much. Now they total Union American. I pressing here about a category to 25 years to then a bushing of 4%. And say the Nako to Nanso Omunians Cabia. Now we in law me a master and servant. And the government in responsibility. So, bushing for Mutsu government because I'm a children a demand so near you know yeah Guma in the children's abandon demand until abandon responsibility into a moon sue abandon political commission no ombenya compensation yamekano.
Right, thanks for the advice.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
May that's your fasike. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's your fasike. Auntie, Sandy can of fasike. And I went to me ama health check awareness. No, went to me ama. But on my buy no the can say penny be pray any buy. The munina se. The munina se pa. Nyame show bibia. We still got some about 10 minutes more to go. Until you wait me a friend na ya twa so young lines to be hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Open your back as I see.
Udin Akasefrin.
You're from Kofi.
O Kasefrin.
Kofi. Plasto.
Na Kofi, see
Open your back as I see.
Yeah.
Only primitive ideas. And then your global world.
Miss.
She knew, you're the coiver. You're the coiver. Tell me, who free can as a Chino, even as one must be. Brofo, wouldn't the only brofo, what this your cry adding? So, English is our first language in Ghana. Official language, English.
We are getting confused here. So, Obasike said she your first language. Also, English your first language.
How can she be first language? How can she be first language? Even Ghana. Even in Ghana, no. And yet, Obia and a country of Ghana. In Ghana, Obia and a country of Ghana.
It's true.
So, it's English, it's English now. Obia, every corner. English, official language, Ghana, English. Oko Kotwa, English. Oko interviewer, English. Bibia Okobia, English. English is our official language in Ghana. It don't mean that Tree no is a language about of every region. They are almost every region. They are any language.
Anyway. So the directive, Minister of Education, the Mayan said, "Oh, track in English. Now, on Tiasia, you have a right to say, oh, the cheap, sorry, in native language, in a bit me actually move, so you can add up to the English language. That's the directive." So,
Education Minister,
sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Books in what can I do? It's in English.
Yeah, it's true. But officially, I agree with you that the official language of Ghana is English.
And Uncle Ye. So, the basic education, Uncle Ye. Now, I schools in Ghana. Schools in Ghana. I didn't a government in the end. Oh, I'm going to make a Rafuye, and I'm going to use English. But private ones who move to Rafuye. I just the government has failed. So, and this government, successive governments, government, so, because the private school for English from the statute, a private statute school, or we can't bluff, into almost secondary school. Now, when I'm almost I don't know. Now, first 9 years I don't know. Now, I almost struggle. Government schools, almost struggle. Oh, because the pure welfare beyond English. It is a one can say, oh, kind of there. Now, I didn't want kind of just yet. Now, young can't tell what 3 months. Let's just say, education system is failed. It is basic education.
Yeah, so the directive now come out the basic schools, no, or the basic education system, no, but I think it's Brofo Ankasa ewo Ghana, no, I think our foundation, no, is very important.
Very, very important.
Yeah, some of us, me for example, I started international school now. Be started from a nursery. By the time I went on JSS, now I was already built up in my language. And son, I go Pokuari mango shabro for. Me go JSS no. Na metin bro for that.
Secondary school is shabro for. Yes, you just add on. You add on to what you know already.
That's
you
right.
Add on. But your basic education, no. Oh, I started going to secondary school, no. A whole very, very important. It's a government. No when in call. No one guys say, Shafana, they will team. Apart from, apart from
anyway. Kofi, who's did it? Kofi Mwa?
Yeah, but
Kofi, me that's Jamisha. Why? Hello. Medasi, thanks for your contribution. I appreciate it. All right. So, for your information, the official language in Ghana, first language is English language. English language. In Tienshan and so on. I mean, I was just trying to push callers and not just to tell me your first language. But the first language in Ghana officially is English language. But most widely, spoken indigenous languages like most widely spoken indigenous language is Akan. Particularly the Twi dialect. Whilst English is used in government and businesses now, Akan serves as a main lingua franca, that's what we call it, in most parts of the country. But the directive, say, which are crowded, na on Tiasia, which me the Twi, actually, see, this is teacher Nibia, a coba virus, or chakra, on Tiasia, no chimu, Nikrum Casem, no Timintiasia, teacher in Koshia Crano. And on this conversation, we need the directive from the Ministry of Education, ABBA. Tien to us by your dinkomo, Nanakro do Ajaman Runners, the demise of Nanakro do Ajaman Runners, and on Sem Yashe, Attorney General, OSP, any the Attorney General, and on Sem, and also. But my main call lines and also yen to us will be mefa few, 1 or 2 or 3, nothing with Medino, a baby yet. Phone lines now, number 903,
Yeah, Principal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, this is Sabi.
Sabi?
Yeah.
Akwaba?
Charlie, day inside. One of my friends used to say, Nipa ne man on siabo. Do you believe that?
Nipa ne man on siabo?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Oh, but you said at the beginning of your program, you told the guy that we've changed the time?
Okay. So in that sense, yes.
About human beings? Anyway, this is a long debate. Let's go somewhere.
That's true.
Principal, unfortunately, I don't have time. You see, when we take decisions without thinking through, without subjecting it to, rigor.
That's right.
Or critical thinking, this is the result. You see, all the people who have called on this change of language thing and so on, the minister acted on knee-jerk reaction.
You said the minister did what?
Pardon?
You said the minister did what?
He took the decision on a knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
Do you understand? There's no thought has gone through the whole process, and everybody has highlighted the consequence from your presenter and even the last caller and so on. We all know that we have to blend our local language. Do you understand? To with English language, and take out other unnecessary. I don't understand why they should add French to what they are doing. Principal, I speak German. Do I benefit from it?
No, I'm not sure. No. It's
not. Of course, I've worked in companies here in the UK here because of my German, because I was interacting. But that is all I got. So I don't see why our children should be forced to learn French. What for? We have to blend. Look, Kwame Nkrumah started this thing. Me, the first, I'm a Gan, 100% Gan. The first language I learned was Ekwapim Twi, because that was where I grew up a bit.
Okay.
Do you understand? Which was a good thing. But so these are some of the things we can look think through it and blend it, not based on the decision this guy took. And he said, President said, who is president? The president is not serving himself. The president is serving the citizens. So who is president to say all of a sudden we should do this? We have to subject this type of decisions to critical reasoning. Look at the impact. What are the resources available? Look at the long-term impact. This is why we are where we are.
So you are saying, sir, Abana should I dream who ye?
Exactly.
This are directive here on the way. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. You see, people were telling you the problems. Textbooks, examinations, everything are not coordinated. So there are a lot of work to be done before we can go this. But principal, you said something when Nana Poku said something. That Konedu and Rollins, they were staying at that ridge place. And you say, oh, that should be normal. It shouldn't be normal. We have normalized that.
Yeah, but that's what we have done. That's what we are doing.
Yes, we have normalized it, but it's not normal. America, for all their riches, when you finish your president, they ask you where you want to go. And they take you there. If you want to go and sleep on the road and you say they should take you, they go.
Anyway.
Because we are dealing with people who stole a lot of money when they were in power. And when they finish we give them cars. Every year or two, they change their cars. I mean, we don't have that resource to do that.
And that is why a lot of people are going into politics now. Everyone reads who I want to do law. No, they call politics.
Rollins, that rich place. When you go down straight behind the airport, Rollins has got a house there. I didn't go. Why can't they go and live there? So I was disappointed when you say it's not normal. We have normalized it, but we don't have time. The last bit, principal. Please, what is the essence of governance? These governors, these MPP people have been disturbing our ears. When it comes to governance, we are the best in governance. Governance is simply protecting the resources and the assets of the company, the nation, the organization you are managing. But if you look at the rot, the corruption, the fraud being uncovered every day, did these NPP people give us good governance? And they are still disturbing us. They want to bring criminals to come and manage Ghana? How come Bawumia? I mean, looking at what they... Look, 2016, me, I supported Akufo-Addo. Do you understand? I went to almost all there thinking that they were coming to deal with the corruption we thought at the time was there. But these people came, they practiced corruption over 100 times. And still we have idiots trying to impose these people on us. Principal, I've made this presentation. Anybody who feels a man or woman should come. I know they will come and do their stupid things. I'm waiting for them.
We're waiting for them there. Okay,
that's fine. That is fine.
But it's your opinion. Anyway, it's your opinion. But the issue is...
Organization. Look at what we are experiencing every day. We thought NPP, NDC was worse. We campaigned for them. We thought they were coming. Look at what they've left. Do you understand? Look at what they left. All the things Domelevo was talking about. And he was at the scene. And somebody like Noforiata, he should have implemented most of the things Domelevo was talking about. Because he was a finance minister, he has to make sure that controls are working, controls were strengthened. But he had no clue of this Noforiata.
Anyway, but the fact of the matter is, Mr. Abbey, the fact of the matter is, we're moving on and going forward now.
Yeah.
The government in the same new view. You haven't said the MPP or Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, whatever you were saying, a protected Kenufuriata. Now the government of the NDC government is in power now. Now Domelevo is still having issues to say. Justice are not being delivered. I'm unfortunate na seven play na follow ya no ya na fi another party comes back to power no be jango for and it's the same as the NDC. And you don't blame one party.
Yeah,
successive governance.
That is why when somebody comes and tell us we are practicing good governance and so on, those who don't understand what the whole governance thing is we'll be jumpy. We are this. No, as a leader, we are observing Mama and this. I'm not saying Mama. Mama is not good, though. Do you understand? Mama is being held now because of what MPP left behind. But Mama is as corrupt as anybody. So we accept that the way this MPP left the country was so devastating.
Anyway, Wafa, sorry, Mr. Abbey.
Okay, Principal.
My time now, so you move Bimra. Why?
Okay, that's fine.
Me that's a but the facts are Malcolm X, I can't seem be say. Malcolm X, I can't seem be. Or say, the truth is truth. No matter who says it. No cray, no cray. And find your back say we no cray. No, it doesn't. No matter who says it. But let's try. And our country as we said, we should try say because we belong to this party, we belong to this, and I say if we try not to say the truth. But the truth is truth. And the OBI can be a OBI as one. But and Ukraine say what you can see any OBI can say no crew, we know. Anyway, Mame and call last caller.
Hello, Yabema.
Wow, line is no low radio.
Hello, Yabema.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam. Sorry.
But what to say?
Boko me wepa where?
Yes, I do. Because some person can't a you school no. But school no. Also sometimes no obi ka question na yenti no say jump into conclusion. Who can say was a prana so on tiasie meboa was individual child. And you know, yes. You know, one man can say, "Yan compose just baby." I saw Moka. Or say a prince on Tias, and you know, almost so moon is a baby and cat. Or say baby, I watch that, you know. Nothing for a pride in Tias, yeah. A private language, no name boy. Not that church much less a private individual. Don't say, yeah, no, you're a copycat, dodo. Don't say, I just say, Ghana, so far, the break up of a child man. Omun catch you to Zagano, or say me ban tichi, and that's a ban tinkai, and I'm a ban. Okay, then a niaji, what
but me buy a guy or Ghana as Antin 1 tichi.
What I say, but a coma almost a bad language where we are probably a very good, almost a very intelligent. What I say, it's a private Tiasia, a particular child, a poor one on Tiasia, a beer bomb, a beer being slow as a fool, and one is a beer elephant. O ka say bia osuna e kuna adwemu ye na kwe no akotine akofia kosua elephant osuna all the meeting e be easy ama akra no because the problem to way sometimes kind of poka aka grofo no news grofo minti because omo kan so kan ye go kwa binti ase pro ni kwa the grofo ko on ti ase grofo kesia nko a so ohun enti yi ka say obi an fa twinche o se bia wo chakra bi no Australia.
Yeah.
Now, native language, no, they are children. What's on the children? I said, "Who fear for some pronunciation way? They be a kid, but what kind? No, who's here? What's the number? I like to run a bram, boy. And whatever, no, okay.
Okay,
a crewman say, send me to Brofo, but a few crew name my name a couple of the mouth. One say, today, cook, I have said, majority of Bragama sweating because Brofo limited. That person job a sort of couple of. I broke out new class at Chelba. Obano, who was that stream break was what your person can help me express yourself.
Yeah.
Remember what I say?
Matase.
So, and you know, to me, mum, dear, Papa Nanka, so Obiani, or baby, I want a previous Australia, Pacano, no trouble for Cano. So, coffee and no shame of putting in the language, and I was not telling you. I just want to believe in the room.
Anyway, I'm asking me time into why.
It's a part of it.
Medasi, make sense. Medasi pa. All right, my last caller. Now, for me,
Principal. Yes. I antimata.
Antimata, I don't know why. I can't read it.
No, me remember Tumpo.
Oh,
well. Local languages. Wamianka, Crofa, why the pan, I can, your woman different degree. Hello?
Yeah, me too.
Only there, I can for no. Even in 60s, the three accounts would try that their children to speak their language. Well, I brought to them. Still English, yeah. Now, I'm fancy. Gan and then some and other panophone. Only a per day be from and one camp brofo, only in henne. And the hemp penny for the man come for an answer, my friend. Yam Benny and after now one can Ganacasa. So I am wrong. Rather, when you see in some. And smell was sent the whole Western region, maybe accents, maybe a chassis. What my language in any Mexican, not French of Funina, so what is me? Nazi. And today we will speak another language in French language. They should tell it in them.
Meta means Wadaroma. York. Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick, go your last one. I mean, fancy.
Oh, me am at you. Me say me can about 10 languages. Me go school no. Adi a yen first class, yen school class 1 year. Ni yen brofoni ade. But me go secondary school no. E wo kuma se ansa na me go SD no. Me yen Latin.
Latin no eh.
E wo kuma se high school. Man read me na musuya. Yen na nti that was very proficient in languages.
Latin who dey.
But I'm a mixed brofo. Me sure brofo. I mean, me sure brofo be my defense be my. They call a Chroma High Court to a House of Commons. They have dated my praise of the yes, me do no.
Okay.
Judge, you know, me can't say yes here. Gana ni bi ko ya de bi wo oyi chaba kwa stop lift no ko bi a 77 nyome no de tun ben no ko e. And they didn't call. Yes, we graduation 6 months so. 6 months you try certificate ni nyinem. And there's all my appeal. But that people can just say, I come back up and obey to my tron waju. And Dino penetrated. And I'm sure, brofo. But for I'm sure say, we try to say Lampus Caramari. You know, you want declare near day. And I'm sure only 4 sentences. They are quite fine. Okay, say, Papa no show no pursue huno. No, in the cana. Papa na I generating this and can finalize the man. Language, you know, it's a means of communication.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Ultra Moscow. Any Wi-Fi, the air you mean, as and the phone I can't find on the buy. Because time on cost a country 1 year dinner. Normally don't do all them journal. And a yard, a boy, a chest time.
Yeah, they're talking grams.
And a mom called Jamaica. A could be home with Uncle Freedom, your friend money. Uncle Nana. They use the drums. In the third drums, you know, and on the Moscow. On the corner near there. Now, I dare back when they Anna, me and Rain free what language we teach all them Jen, Yanqualano.
Yeah.
I have brought 4 Chinese so Bibian Yakin. I make a job. Before 1970, Chama Mao, what the eating right and growing right is not sign of backwardness. Indeed, the Chinese, all them Jen, should learn how to write their own Chinese language. Now, no, the world is not trying to learn Chinese. English is a broken form of Latin, English, and Greek. Indeed, you know the Latin are good. But I never can say the language is in a Chianqualani, and you good, but more free or more root. Say me catch you Asante. You be good massa asopato. Asopato in Portuguese standard. But Oko Cape Coast Alimina and over asopato on the show. And it's more not usually tomatoes.
So, you have see our Dharma. Zia,
we are in a dynamic society. Languages change. We have to adapt it. So, Bitimika language, we know being Timika.
And if I don't be super bad, in T-shirt and so. All right. See, Omwa, a friend, I want to say thank you. And then, Omwa, Eti, meaning say, or silent. Listeners who have no munta and free, but you can say a damasi a health awareness na ya health checks and any adini na mo am to ba Stratford and ra nyamisha mu nyina nipa no bebre o mti radio no so emfre but the way we came into no yedase pa tie disia nyame yadomo a You better be Wednesday 9 o'clock anyway. You better say our videos because hotdigitalonline.com. Yent me fa call madama wa wo frɛ no ɛyɛ sɛ ɛbrɛ no ma fa bi DJ DS ba beto aso ti cosmity hotdigitalonline.com send them can Wednesday 9 o'clock you better ba beto aso another political talk show here on radio.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
And here you be so atna the decent America kind of football Premier League Kosovo Sky Sports Live. No atna Tiehu TZ to Zafi and Benku Tilapia Fufu aduane bia beso di bia James Afus be am sabe na nan ma ho anko to offline sense no betimi awie no shopping Ghana nuane bi na se oso odi kofie enti awie late in Libridge ho ne nyina ye hia ye football ne ye pe bibia di sanete na afei so Senemedica Latin Libridge Road ye Baker Sam so no say Tesco kese na ho no ho na animu na ba bi ncha ho na Subway na ho no ne bo ho nti bombo na hwe mu trakwan na otimi akwa kodidi na bibia aye fine ha na de besi nyame adoma medical aka no ye beto aso DJ DS enso eba abeto aso.
digitalonline.com. digitalonline.com.
Take Hot Digital Online Radio wherever you go. Download our Android app from the Google Play Store and our iOS app from the App Store. Enjoy the best music, news